Welcome to another Kids Circus class, courtesy of the Circus Hub. As you can see up here, my name's Aidin. We're going to do another Kids class for you guys today. Just before we do get started, drop a little hi in the chat. It's always nice to know who's watching, if there is anybody watching out there. Just a little bit of, I'm just curious, who's there? I'm pretty sure Yana's going to be there. Yana's been watching like every single class ever. Which is amazing, and I love it. But, let me know how you're doing. Are you feeling good? Are you over this? Do you want to work on more handstands? Because boy, do I have a treat for you. We're just going to very quickly go over what the plan is today. There's a lot of stuff, as always. So we're going to do a bit of a warm-up, which I've got an interesting little plan for. Spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting for you guys. We're going to do some handstands, of course. Always do handstands. Handstands are great. Hopefully, when we're all back at the hub, you guys are just doing handstands all over the place. I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing handstands, but you'll never stop doing handstands, and it'll be amazing. We're going to do a little bit of juggling, specifically into some contact juggling today. So only the one juggling ball, which is nice. And then, I know I'm not the best role model for dead flat splits, but we're going to do some splits anyway, because I don't think we've done splits in a while, and now's the time to be getting those, right? So that's all well and good, but just going to double check and give you guys a little time to make sure you do have everything you need. So I'm going to pull that other slide back up real quick. So make sure you've got some space, as always. A wall plus some cushions in case you're worried about falling out of a handstand. So grab some cushions or a pillow or anything if you're worried about coming off the wall. Grab a juggling ball or your juggling socks, which are going to be less effective for contact juggling, but you can give it a go. You can, in which case, video yourself, because I'd really like to see that. I've never tried it with socks. Or like an orange or an apple or some juggling fruit that you can eat afterwards as a snack, once you wash it, obviously. And you're going to need a book. You're definitely going to be wanting a book. And that's basically what the warm-up's going to start with, is we're going to start with a book. After we do a little bit of carrying, because we want to get that heart rate up and pumping, right? That is of course the plan. So we're going to come on up and over. I'm just going to put that there so it doesn't roll away. Whatever. And first things first, is we're going to go arm up, elbow to knee, arm up, elbow to knee. Just nice, simple. We're only going to do it for 45 seconds. It's just nice and quick. I'm going to get my fancy old timer here, by which I mean my phone. So it's just going to be elbow to opposite knee, just 45 seconds, nice and fast. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Do you have your space? Do you have your wall? You don't need your wall for this, but make sure you've got a wall somewhere. Starting in 3, 2, 1, elbow, knee, elbow, knee, elbow, knee, just like nice and fast, pulling down. We're not jumping in this, we're taking deliberate steps up and down, squeezing your stomach. Arms staying high, pulling down. Be careful not to slam your elbow into your knee too hard, because that might hurt a little bit. Get a little bit of bounce, get your groove on. Put on some dance music if you want, but wait till we're done with this. That's just 45 seconds. That is all. Just stop that timer. Roll my pants back up. It's quite warm in here. You might have noticed I have shut my curtains. There's a reason for that. First and foremost, it's going to stop the sun getting in my eyes. This room gets a lot of sun this time of day. Now we're just going to go into our little washing machines. Make sure you don't hit the wall. Really nice big long arms and a twist and a wrap around. I'm going to keep going with the elbow thing. So we're going to reach across, pull down to your foot. Reach across, pull down to your foot. Up and down. You can bend your knees to get lower if you need. Actually, if I just do that, you can see me better. Look at that. Reaching across, pulling down as I bend my knee. You need to stop because you realise you've done this all wrong. So in effect, you need to reach down by your foot and put something back up. Throw your toes away, but not too far, because we do need our toes later. Right, a little bit of a monkey around. Forwards and backwards. And then, you can grab some water, if you're in a very warm room like I am. Have a quick check of the chat, make sure there's people paying attention, that's always nice. And then I would like you to grab your book. Doesn't have to be a huge book, doesn't have to be a small book, but the plan of attack for the book today. For I want the book goes on your head, and the goal is to never let it leave there. So if you look down, the book's going to fall. If you turn your head too fast, you're going to throw the book on the ground. Make sure it's a book you're okay dropping, okay? Because be good to books, folks. They're pretty good to you. So I'm just going to adjust the screen again because I can never have it the perfect height. We're going to go down, so on our feet and knees. But further, good. There we go. Right. Book goes on our head. We're just going to do a couple of duck walks in a circle. So you're staying nice and low, keeping the book on your head. Make sure the book... Too ambitious on my part. But making sure you can really rock over that foot. Make sure you turn your head slowly. Oh, the book's off. I mean, as always when I do these, you've got bonus points for intelligent duck noises. I've never seen a duck read a book yet, but I'm sure it could happen. Alright, so next challenge is, of course, always, because you want to work both sides, right? The book's staying on your head, you're going to be going backwards with your duck walks. Make sure you don't hit into any walls. Ugh. Make sure you don't have a slippery head like I do. Ugh. Bit of a challenge, eh? Right, we can stand up, we can do a little bit of the jump leg to the side, makes you got space. Shake your legs out from that duck walk. Bonus, like, weird leprechaun arms if you want them. Another little washing machine, but this time is a bit of a bounce to wake up. Then we come back down to the floor. We're just going to go into our downward dog for a little bit. So making sure your hips are going high, your back should stay flat, your legs are straight. I'm not super worried if your heels are off the ground or if they're flat. That depends on where your flexibility is at. And we'll rock forward to a plank and back. So just going to go for a couple of rocks, that's all. Make sure you don't go super far in your planks. We're not coming down to a cobra. We're just going plank to downward dog. Alright, so and if you guys remember, from what we did last week, we did a lot of balance on our knees and our elbows. We're going to be doing something similar next. You're going to want your book back. It is very warm in here. So grab your friend the book. We're not going to use them just yet. I want you to get used to it first. But the plan is we're going to be hands and knees to start with. I'm going to take my right leg. It's going to come out behind me and up off the ground. And my left arm, so my opposite arm, come in front. But I'm going to do them together. So they both come out. And they both come in. And I can do my left leg and my right arm. So I alternate sides, yeah? If this is feeling like your jam, you are all over this. Take your book, put it on your back. This should be able to tell if you're staying flat or not. The book doesn't want to move. Focusing on keeping that back nice and flat. I feel like I'm doing pretty good at this one. And if, of course, you want an even harder challenge, we can do it from plank. So it's still going to be opposite arm, opposite leg, and your book's still there, it's trying not to move. Three more each side, yeah? Focus on your shoulders staying stable. Remembering to breathe. Breathing will help. A little wobbly. And then you can take your book. We're just going to go and put it away for now. So, that's going to be our little bit of a warm-up. I encourage you to try that with books, with plastic mugs like we did last week. Anything that might roll in is okay if you do drop it. It's just a good way of starting to build up where your balance actually might be. So you can grab some water as needed. See if anybody's here in the chat. Yes, Jan is here. Of course Jan is here. Alright. After that, we're going to do a little bit of our handstands, same as we always do. Only way to really get good at them is just to keep doing them. So we're going to go for a little bit of a wrist warm up. So hands go together, interlock fingers, a little bit of a roll around, and roll it the other way. Just, because you can. Into your little roller coasters. And roller coaster has to go backwards, because otherwise it's just like this cheap roller coaster. And we're not about cheap roller coasters here at the Circus Hub, we're all about those fancy reversible ones. Hands out when you're up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. And just, it's like you're just doing like a real gentle, like you're trying to fan someone, but super gently. And do our hands facing the other way, so they're just going to be going up and down the other way. So like I said in my handstand class, it's like you're giving someone a really awkward handshake, just from your wrists. Okay, we're going to go into our usual little wrist push-ups. So as always, shoulder is above our wrist. Keeping our fingers on the ground, we're going for 5. No, let's go 10. You guys are good, let's go for 10. So pushing up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. We're going to do 10 with our thumbs. And so these really make sure our elbows don't bend out. It's a little lift. And I'm really pushing down onto this side of my hand to make it happen, yeah? 7, 8, 9, 10. Now our pinky side. So pushing into the first knuckle of your first finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 all the way up to our fingers. Okay, we're going to do the normal handstand drill, so you're going to need your wall. We're going to be lying down on the ground, holding that for 5 seconds. No, we'll go 10 seconds. You guys are all strong. We're going to hold it for 10 seconds. We'll do 5 of our knee slides, 5 of our little leg lifts, and then we're going to go to the wall, do some handstands. But then after that, I've got something else we can try. So you're going to find your wall, lying on the ground, making sure you're pushing it away. So you never want to stop pushing. You're always trying to move that wall. Your legs are going to be together. You're always squeezing your core in. Stomach is pulling in. And you're just like you're trying to pull your hips. They're trying to do this kind of rotation up. And your ribs are trying to do this the other way. So you're really pushing your lower back into the ground. Your hand cannot fit between. So it's pulling in there. You can have your hands overhead, but don't let your ribs pop out. That push down is always happening. We're just going to hold it for 10 seconds. So that's going to be starting from now. It's 10, 9, 8. You can point your toes, of course. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and don't relax yet because we're going to slowly pull our legs up as always, remember? But you're keeping your stomach the same as before. Your lower back never leaves the ground. That's going to be 1. Always pulling in. Trying to keep your stomach as flat as possible. That's 2. Keep pushing away from the wall. Remember to keep breathing. That's going to be 3. That's 4. Make sure your back isn't coming off the ground. And that's 5, where your toes pointed the whole time. And then we've just got our 5 little leg lifts. So again, these are little. It's only maybe in kind of this sort of degree angle. You're not changing it a huge amount. And again, your core and your stomach and your hips, they stay exactly the same. They aren't going to move. Still pushing away from the wall. Legs together, we're just going to go for 5 little leg lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. Not hard, is it? But a really good way to start getting yourself ready for your handstand. And speaking of, this is why we're going to want our wall friend, other than that one. I'm going to go for our usual 3 sets of 10 seconds on the wall. Nice and easy, nice and consistent, just something to keep you constantly working at it. You can walk up the wall, you can cartwheel onto the wall, you can do whatever works for you. But just 3 sets, 10 seconds on the wall, try and walk yourself as far into the wall. And that same shape that we had on the floor where all of this was pulling in so your back is flat, same deal. That's exactly what we want. As always, we're facing into the wall. So here we go, walking up the wall. As close in as you can, pushing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down, shake your wrists a little bit, give a bit of a boogie. Why not? See who else is here in the chat. Hopefully we've got a few more people. Not as yet, but that's okay. So we're doing it again, of course. Second set. Just as good as first. And I want you to try and focus on getting your armpits onto the wall. So your arms have to really open up without letting your ribs pop out. This needs to stay in. This needs to stay back. Number 2. Here we go. Walking up. Pushing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down, nice and controlled. Another little boogie, but this time maybe boogie in a different way. Shake your wrists, make sure they're feeling good, feeling nice and healthy. Don't get too comfortable because we are going up again. Make sure to have a quick breath. Realize that maybe shutting this is a bad idea sometimes, but that's okay. So, third set, that's all. We're going to walk up the wall, and we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down safely. A little bit of a shakeout. Grab some water if you'd like. We're still going to go upside down, so make it a little drink. Why is you... Okay, good. That's okay. Sorry, my computer's yelling at me for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm going to do a quick couple of kick-ups, 5 on each leg, and then we're going to do something new, something a little bit new for some of you guys. And then we'll just crack on into the rest of the lesson. Boom. So 5 kick-ups, each leg, reaching nice and long, feeling your back leg really drive you up. And you don't have to hold it, it's just going to be up, float, come down. That's all. Not looking to hold it. If it does hold for a second, brilliant, love it. If it doesn't, that's fine, it's good. And the last tip of advice that I consistently forget, start on your less dominant leg, the leg that's a little bit harder. Because then you finish on your good leg and you feel really good at the end. So, less dominant leg, starting nice and up, always pulling our core in to start with, opening our shoulders to start with, 1 step forward, big push, and down. always coming down on the same leg you started on. That's 1. 4 more on this leg. That's 2. That's 3. A little bit too enthusiastic. I'm very worried. I've got a light, like right there. I don't want to smash. But I've got 1 more. And that's 5. A little bit of a boogie. Whatever kind of boogie you got. I know Rich is watching this. Rich should be all about these boogies. Those of you who have seen him dance, it's a sight to behold. Now we've got our good leg. Another 5, that's all. So we're going for 1, 2. Focus on that core squeezing tight. Don't let it flop out. You don't want to arch. You want to be a nice straight line. That's 3, 4. Last one, folks. Make it a good one. And that's 5. Easy, nothing to it, am I right? Super chill. So the last thing we're going to have a quick look at is I want to have a quick look at what's called locust. For those of you who might not be able to do this, this is where a cushion might be super helpful, but you're also not that far off the ground, so if you do land, it's not that bad. And this is a little bit more of an extension for you guys who are already quite strong in your wrists and your shoulders. And it's similar to a frog stand, if we're all familiar with what a frog stand is. It's quite similar. The difference is that our legs are going to be straight behind us in a straddle, and our arms, instead of having our knees on, they're going to have our ribs on. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to make sure I've got a clear space in front of me, because this one can be a little face planting, but you don't have to take your feet off, which is okay. You're going to turn your hands around backwards, like we would if we're going to stretch our wrists, and you're going to bend your elbows, and they're going to be put just on your lower ribs, depending on how long your arms are compared to your body. It's going to be different for everyone. So I'm going to bend, I'm going to straighten my legs out behind me, I'm going to go into a straddle. A straddle is going to make it easier. I'm going to try and lean forward, trying to keep the weight in my wrists, and from here, if I'm feeling good, I might be able to lift my legs. You don't have to lift your legs, I want to reiterate that. I can just be here, and that's fine. What I want to avoid doing is this massive kind of like sad banana. I know when I normally talk about bananas for handstands, it's the other way, where you're really arched. But for this, that's your happy banana. Be the happy banana for this. Your sad banana, you're going to be like this, and that's a little bit, it's not quite what we're after really. So for that, it's really looking forward, really trying to arch. Keep your head up, keep your butt up. So you can try it again. So you can lean forward. As you arch, that's what's going to help let you lift up. You can try it with legs together if this is feeling pretty easy for you, but that's harder. You've got more weight on the end because you're making a longer lever. Apparently physics is a massive thing in Circus. Who knew? Just something to play with. That's your new hand balance shape for this lesson. That's something for you to go away and try. It can be a little face planty, as I'm sure some of you have found out. But then you also fall in the spa. But if you always want, have a cushion, have a mat, do it in front of your couch if you've got a really low couch. That would be a really low couch, so up to you. I'm going to give our wrist a little bit of a shake, because that one can be quite difficult on the wrists. A little bit of a shake both ways, a little bit of like a flap, a little bit of side to side, a little bit of up and down, a little bit of a roll of the neck. Grab some water, folks, because we're moving into the next portion of class. And I would say, hands up for those of you who remember what that is, but I can't see you, so I'm just going to presume everyone knows what it is. I'm going to be doing a little bit of contact juggling. That's the other reason why I've shut these windows today, because I've got my contact ball here, and as you'll see in a minute, it can act as a giant lens. And I've accidentally set things on fire with it before. So we don't really want sunlight passing through it. So, push that up a little bit. I'm going to grab our ball. So we can see, if I can stand, you can see everything. It'll be amazing, trust me. So this is my contact ball. And this is why I don't like having it through sunlight. I was doing a head balance one time and I felt smoke coming from the top of my head. But we're going to start off with something I know I've taught a lot of kids before, and there's ways to make it harder, and there's variations I'm going to show you as well. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little fist, and the ball, or your apple, or your orange, or your socks, if you're really willing to try it. Ideally something that's going to be hard and going to stay a circle shape is what we want. So a juggling ball will work, and orange is actually pretty good for this. Apples, not so much. They're not usually circular. Socks, I feel, would squish, but you do you. I'm here to tell you what to do in a limited fashion, but you would take that as you want. From here, I'm going to make another fist. I'm going to put it on top. So both my fists have their thumbs up the top side, yeah? From here, this is one of the basic positions we're going to do. As we push down, so what's going to happen with my fists is they're both going to push down to the side because the ball's in the way. And as they do so, I'm going to open my fingers. So I'm going from here to here. And I can hold the ball here because I'm pushing in with my palms. Not heaps. I'm not pushing in super much. I'm not forcing it in as hard as I can. It's just enough for it to not to drop. So I'm going from here, rolling down, and then I continue to the bottom. And with the clear ball, it looks really nice because the ball doesn't look like it moves. And the way you really sell this kind of illusion is with those wide open fingers that sort of climb back in. If you guys are interested in what it looks like without a ball, that's clear. I do have another one here. This is not quite as nice, but again, ball on top, making those fists so both are up the top, so I'm not doing this kind of motorbike kind of thing. That's not what we're after. Both thumbs are up, comes down, and I open my fingers. I'm pushing in, and I keep rolling the ball over to come back into that little fist. If this is feeling good, and you're like, yep, I can do this for days, excellent. The next step from there is the idea of isolation. Stop screaming at me, computer. Okay, good. Is the theory of the isolation. So the idea is if I'm here, the ball isn't moving. The ball occupies that same area in space, right? If I decide to keep my top hand the same part in space, the two things that have to move is going to be my bottom hand and the ball. If the ball stays in space, both my hands have to move. If I keep my bottom hand in space, the ball in hand. Two things move. So we're going to keep our top hand in space for this demonstration. The ball needs to roll up over the other hand, and it comes up. And then my top hand might stay where it is on the way down as well. So you see how I can change that point of isolation if I want? If I keep the bottom hand still, or if I want to make it climb, if I want to make the ball go up, that top hand's going to stay still, and then this top hand's going to stay still. And the ball kind of just climbs. You can sort of manipulate it to wherever you want it to go, which is actually kind of cool. So that's something to play with, is just up, down. If you just want to go back to playing here, because you can go up, change, change, down, change. It's just something to play with, to get used to the idea of something can always stay where it is, which is quite a big thing in contact juggling. The other thing is, though, is that it doesn't just have to go up and down, because we're Circus, right? We're not all about just being up and down and in this kind of one set of planes. We do how we want. And the trick with that, I'm going to show you with the purple one again, so you can see it a little bit better. The idea is if we're back in our starting position, we can turn it to the side. And the big thing I want you to notice about this is that when I do this, my arms don't cross. My left arm always stays on my left side. My right arm always stays on my right side. And it's exactly the same as doing this. Well, I take that back, it's not exactly the same because we do it on the side. And the motion that your hands are going to do this time is they're going to turn in, open up, and turn over. So your hands are doing this kind of open turn. As opposed to here where they moved up and down, it's just this kind of rotation from your arm. And what that looks like with the ball is you do need a certain amount of pressure pushing in the whole time, but not a lot. You're going to open and turn. And those of you who are starting to follow on with the isolation stuff, is that nothing in this really changes. And that's okay. We don't necessarily need it to change. But if you want to move, as you make that change, you can sort of pull your whole arm across, and the ball kind of translates, yeah? And pull, pull, pull. Something to have a little bit of a play with. And the final step from all of this, go back to clear one because I like how it looks, is if we've got up, down, side, side. This is if you're not quite there, that is okay. That is fine. We're going to show you something else we can have a quick crack at in a little bit. How much time we got? We're doing okay for time. We're doing okay for time, folks. This is mostly what I spent time on because this is something you can just do at home. You don't have to warm up so much. But the idea is you can make a square because you have up, down, side, side, right? So if you put them all together, that's either a big plus or it's a square or a rectangle or whatever shape it would be, but we're going to start with a square. So for that, I start with my up and down, so I'm going to go up. As I pull to the side, I'm going to make this diagonal. So I'm not here anymore, I'm going to be slightly diagonal. And that's going to pull me to my side to side. I'm going to make that diagonal again to pull down, and then once more to the side. So it's always this little kind of square. And the isolation with this, what you want to focus on is how the ball moves. Your hands go to wherever, then you just support the ball and make the next movement. But the ball is always wanting to do this kind of square, right? That's why we call it a square. So it's up, it's to the side, and when you're going to the side, your arms aren't going to cross. So if I've just gone up and I go to the side, I don't want to do this, because then I can't really get back down. If I've just gone up, I want to go to the side. So I've always got my outside hand on the outside. It's never on the inside. Pull down, I come across. And the other thing that really works with this is if it's like a hard stop in between. So I go up, then to the side, then down. I don't try and make it all just flow, because then it looks a little bit more messy. So I go up, side, down. It's really short and sharp, it's staccato, which is really good. Oh. Water. I cannot express how warm it is in this room right now. We'll see if I continue doing contact stuff in this room later. But that's all well and good. That's your square, that's your up, downs, your side to side. It's a really good start for contact juggling, and I know I've taught a lot of you that before. So we're going to move to something I'm not sure I have taught a lot of you, if it's the kids' classes out there who are watching. But you're going to need your ball. Of course you want your ball. And the idea with this is you're going to start in your little ice cream cone. So you've wrapped your fingers around your ice cream cone. The ball is the ice cream. Don't lick it. It's not that appetizing, I have tried. And the idea is you're going to swap it to your other thumb, but the way you do it is you can come in with an open hand, grab it with your pinky, and you're kind of trying to squeeze the ball up to your fist. So what's going to happen is this hand's going to squeeze that fist. Comes across, pulls. And it's like the ball's going to stay where it is, and your hands just sort of melt around it. And this is why having something that's quite round is more useful than something like an apple or a pair of socks. You can really grip and push it up. Admittedly, with the crystal ball it looks much better, but the same thing applies with something that's less like this. It's that pull, and it's kind of like a wrap and a squeeze between my thumb and my fingers. So it's like I'm pushing it to here, to here, to here, to here. And this can very easily flow into your square. Now we go up and then down. So I might even go up, cut in, across, down, cut in, go up. A whole bunch of different ways to play and make that sequence yours. So even just in that is your homework for this lesson. And that is the idea of taking your ball or your orange, and that's making a little sequence out of some of the stuff that I've shown you for today. We've got one last thing I want to show you guys with the ball, which flows into this kind of stuff, and that's because we were playing with isolations anyway, right? A full isolation with contact ball is the idea that it stays in space, and I know Michael's done a little bit of this with you guys, not last week but the week before, but the ball stays here. And if you look at it, I don't want you to focus on it where you can see the whole thing and everything else sort of like splits apart. You want to look at something just behind it, so the ball kind of splits apart. So you're looking at like 1.5 contact balls, I was making this weird kind of split shape, because then you can look at 2 different points on the ball and keep them in space. As you do, you can move your hand over, around, under, and then maybe your other hand comes up and takes it, and then you come up. As you come down, it floats back into another isolation. Maybe it comes to the side, down, take it away into an isolation. I don't know, it's something to play with. But the big thing with the isolation is definitely keeping it simple. As you move, you can't let the ball drop, otherwise this just looks like you're waving a ball around. It's not really anything. On the other hand, if I'm moving my hand around and under and over, but the ball doesn't move, that's not something people normally do. So that makes it interesting to watch. And again, with a clear ball, it always looks better because you've got that reflection up and on through, and that actually helps hide some of the mistakes you can make. And then that leads you into your other stuff. But that is your homework, is to create that kind of little sequence. And maybe next week we can do a little bit more exploration with some other contact drawing stuff. We've done squid with you guys, I'm pretty sure. I know I've done it with a couple of you guys. So the last thing we're going to do today, and we're rapidly running out of time, so apologies on that, but we're going to do a little bit of work with our splits. And again, I am fully aware my splits are nothing to write home about, but that's why we're going to do them, because we need to get better at them, right? And if you just go like, yeah, my splits suck, yes, that is how they stay. Not great. But if you go, hey, my splits suck, but I'm going to train them anyway and get better, they get better. It's crazy. It's like handstands, right? Train it, it gets better. So all we're going to start with is going to be in a lunge. So making our hips above our knees above our leg. And your hips are going to roll forward and under, like we did with our handstands. It's them rolling under. So it's tucking under, trying to push this hip forward. You should get this stretch through your quad of your back leg. If you need more, you can push a little bit off your front leg, but you're trying to keep your back mostly straight. You're not trying to really round over. It's just a little push. You should really start to feel it down through your hip flexor, down through here. There's not a whole lot I should be talking about when we do stretches, but my flatmates are starting to go a little bit crazy, and I'd like some more jokes to tell them, basically, which is thematic and appropriate because my splits are a little bit of a joke. We're going to push back, our leg can slide forward a little bit, and you lean forward, you get a stretch under this leg. Try and pull your belly button onto your knee. But yeah, if you guys can send me a joke, maybe you can send me a joke along with your little contact juggling routine. Maybe your contact juggling routine happens while you're in the splits. Oh my god, it's all coming together. Oh, it's excellent. But yeah, send me a joke. Circus joke, regular joke. I'm cool either way. I'm going to flex and point, and flex and point, and flex and point. 2 more. Flex, point, flex, point. And then I'm going to push out into as much split as we have. That might not be much. Exhibit A. If you're in your dead flat split, brilliant, but I want you to focus on your hip staying square. So I'm not opening out. See, if I put to use an expression from the contortionist I know, if I've got like torches or flashlights taped to my hips for some reason, they'd currently be shining out this way, and I want them to be shining forwards. So I'm trying to push this back hip forwards and pull this top hip back. I'm just going to hang out here. You can have your hands on the ground or on a wall. Just going to hang out here for a little bit. We can lean forward. So you're going to lean over your front leg. Still make sure your hips are square. Make sure your back leg's in line so it's not twisted out. That's going to ruin your beautiful square hips. And then we're going to come and lean behind us. If you have a wall or something, that's also good. For the last 10 seconds, we're going to go hands off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That wasn't so bad, was it? You've done worse. So we're going to go to the other leg now. So again, hip above knee, knee above foot, and your hips are peeling underneath. Try and roll them under, getting that stretch on your bottom leg. Tell you what, if I turn around, you should have a better view, I think. So it's this leg we're stretching. What's a good joke? Send me a joke in the chat right well after we've done stretching. Send me a joke in the chat. I'm curious to see what jokes people have. But this whole section of kids classes that we're going over is stuff you can be training a lot on your own in quarantine. That handstand routine I take you guys through every lesson, you can do that on your own. You don't need to wait for a class from me. You can do some contact juggling on your own. That's all stuff you can practice. Your normal juggling, excellent. Your splits, speaking of which, we're going to go for a forward pike. So belly button on our knee, nice flat back, not trying to get our nose in, we're trying to pull our belly button in. But splits are something you can be training on your own. Any sort of, be gentle, you don't want to hurt yourself, but I know Jana's been watching our classes religiously, so good on you, Jana. But you don't necessarily have to wait for the classes for this stuff, which is really, really good. And we're going to flex and point, flex, point, flex, point. 2 more, flex, point, flex, point. And we're going to go as much split as we've got, making sure our hips are square. The hair does not want to open out. And if that means you're not quite as high up in your split, that is okay. I would much rather you be in a split like mine, with nice square hips, as opposed to a dead flat floor, but your hips are super, super open. Then we just hang out here, same as we normally do for splits. So just balance and hold and enjoy. Now I'm going to fold forward, leaning over our split. We're going to lean backwards. So start to just move where we feel that stretch in our split. And then we've got our last 10 seconds without hands. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're out of time, unfortunately, but we can do middle splits next week, I guarantee. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really want to see some homework. I've been saying this in a lot of classes. I've had some videos from some people, but I want to see where people are at. If you send me something you're not quite sure if it's right, or if you want to know what you're most need to improve, send me a video and I will absolutely let you know. We are here to help. This is what we do. And I also need more jokes. I've run out of jokes. Please send me jokes. But other than that, don't forget to drop a little like and subscribe. That really helps us out. I've been Aidin, for those of you who don't know me, continuing keep doing your circus. It's really, really good. Now's the time to get good at a lot of it. I really hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Check us out on Instagram. There's a hashtag, Circus Hub Community. We've got our own little community page on our website. I really hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. And I look forward to seeing more of you guys. So we will see you later.